Generative AI is absolutely everywhere, right? It's transforming whole industries. But let's be real. How do you actually make it work for your organization without it turning into a total mess or, some top-down directive that just flops? Today, we're going to crack the code on building a generative AI strategy that actually gets results. Okay, so let's dive in. Most companies, when they try this, fall into one of two traps. On one side, you have the top-down mandate. This is where the C-suite issues some grand AI vision from on high. It sounds super decisive, sure, but it's often completely disconnected from the reality on the ground and can just crush creativity. Then, on the other side, you have bottom-up chaos. This is a total free-for-all. Everyone's experimenting with different tools, which is exciting, but it leads to this scattershot approach with zero connection to the company's actual goals.
So, what's the answer? If top-down is too stiff and bottom-up is too chaotic, it kind of feels like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. But the real solution isn't about picking one over the other.
The answer is a hybrid model, what we're calling the multi-directional strategy. And the best way to think about it is like building a bridge. You don't just start from one side and hope for the best, right? No, you start building from both sides at the same time. Leadership provides that big architectural vision, the destination. And the teams on the ground, they handle the practical, day-to-day construction, making sure everything connects perfectly right there in the middle.
So, how do we actually start building this bridge? Well, it all begins with laying a solid foundation, and that means focusing on two key pillars to get us started from both ends.
So pillar number one is strategic focus. From the top, leadership has to resist that temptation to try and do everything at once. Instead, they pick one single high-impact area and clearly define what success looks like, with a real return on investment. Meanwhile, at the same time, employees on the ground are identifying the real daily pain points and finding low-risk places to start experimenting. That way, they can learn and figure things out without, breaking anything important. Next up is exploration. This is where the building really starts to happen. Now, leadership's job here isn't to tell people how to build. It's to provide the materials and the space. We're talking hackathons, dedicated time to just play with new tools. The employees then take that opportunity to get their hands dirty. They test different AI applications and, this is key, they share what works. This is literally laying the first planks of the bridge from their side. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Innovation in AI is not a solo sport. It really thrives when discoveries are shared, when one team's amazing breakthrough becomes another team's starting point. It's all about creating this shared pool of knowledge that everyone in the organization can dip into. Okay, we've got our foundation. Now we need to make sure this bridge we're building is strong, safe, and made with the right stuff. This is where our next two pillars come into play. Let's talk about responsible AI. This is completely non-negotiable. From the top, leadership's role is to build the guardrails for the bridge. They have to set the ethical guidelines, the data security policies, the whole safety framework. And from the bottom, the employees are the ones on site, checking every single connection. They're the ones putting a human in the loop for review, watching the AI for any weird or unintended consequences, and making sure every piece of the build sticks to those company standards. And this is just so important because it takes this big abstract idea of responsible AI and it makes it totally practical. It's not just some fuzzy concepts, it's an actual actionable checklist for anyone working with these tools. You're conducting tests, you're implementing moderation, you're constantly monitoring, and you're always thinking ahead about what could possibly go wrong. Of course, none of this is going to happen without the right resources. And this is another one of those two-way streets. Leadership provides the big-ticket items, a solid data strategy, money to hire new talent, access to powerful platforms. But employees have a huge role too. They've got to be scrappy, make the most of the tools they already have. And when they do hit a wall, it's on them to build a really clear business case to justify why they need more. All right, our bridge is really taking shape. It's founded, it's framed, it's resourced. But how do we know if it's actually any good? The final two pillars are all about proving its value and making sure it's built to last. Measuring impact. This is how you justify the entire project. So leadership, they set the destination's coordinates by defining those KPIs, the key performance indicators. Basically, the specific numbers that tell you if you've won. Maybe it's more sales, maybe it's happier customers. The employees then provide the proof from the ground up, showing exactly how much time was saved or costs were cut, and connecting that data directly back to those big picture company goals.
And finally, you have to realize that a great AI strategy is never really finished. That bridge needs maintenance. Leadership's job is to create a culture of constant improvement, setting up regular reviews and feedback channels. And the employees, they're on the front lines, constantly testing, refining things based on what users are actually saying, and keeping their own skills razor sharp. It has to be a living, breathing system.
This just breaks it all down into a simple, constant loop, doesn't it? You gather feedback, you evaluate the performance data, you refine the tool, and you keep learning. This isn't a one-time thing. It's a cycle that everyone in the company needs to be a part of to keep the strategy working and relevant. So after all this work, from the top-down vision and all that bottom-up innovation, what do we get? Well, we get a completed bridge. And there it is. This brings our central idea home perfectly. When the two sides finally meet in the middle, you get something incredibly powerful. You get a strategy that's both ambitious and practical. It connects that high-level vision from leadership with the on-the-ground reality of the employees. And that creates a structure that's strong, stable, and actually gets you somewhere useful. And that leaves us with one final, really crucial question. This isn't just some theory, right? The future of AI in your organization is being built right now, one decision at a time. So whether you're in the C-suite or on the front lines, the real question is, what part are you going to build?